individuals, give them the environment and support they need, and trust them to get the job done. Anyone else? Did that resonate with anyone else? Yeah, why? Why did that connect with you? Yeah, go for it.
Because like motivated people always have passion, always want to work on it and put like value into their work and some like experience on other stuff. Like I can see that, so number 5 is like the most important thing. So that's like that.
Cool. Yeah.
Number 5 stands out because like as a leader on a project, it's your job to like motivate your team to be like the best that they can be, and deliver the best product possible.
Yeah, and there's some other interesting, like so from the leader perspective, this is an interesting one. Because I work with a lot of leaders that when I actually talk through this, like they get uncomfortable with this. So what it says is, give them the environment and support they need and trust them to get the job done. What does that not say as a leader to do? What's that? Control it. Yeah, it just says, in fact, this is the opposite of controlling it. And that's rough for some leaders. Some leaders think it's a leader's job to tell everyone what to do. And that's absolutely not what a leader is supposed to do. A leader is supposed to, so I manage teams, I manage software teams, and my job, I feel, as a manager is not to tell them what to do, but it's to make sure they have what they need to get their job done. So if they have any obstacles, it's to help clear those obstacles out of the way. And the thing I need to understand is that usually the biggest obstacle they have is me, their leader. I just have to get out of the way and let the team solve the problem because they're the ones who are the closest to it. They're the ones who've been working on it. They know the problems. I don't. Yeah.
So like manager is a better word?
Yeah, so I don't like, yeah, so manager is typically, so there's a difference between leader and manager. What I'm describing is a manager. That's someone who wants to tell people what to do. A leader is the person who gets out of the way and lets people do it. So I prefer that you be leaders and not managers. Your job is not to manage what people do and to tell them, do this, do. Your job today is to do this, you need to go do this, you need to go do this. Let the team figure that out. Your job is to just, by leading, you set the goal. Here's where I want you guys to get to. Let me know if you have any problems I need to sweep out of your way. Let me know if you need anything. I'm out of here. You guys do it. I trust you. The word trust is in there, and that's really important. How many people feel like when you're doing work, if you feel like you trust the people, or you're being trusted, like, does that help? See nods? Why does that help when you feel like you're being trusted? Yeah.
You feel valued.
Yeah, what happens if you don't feel trusted? Yeah.
You drag your feet.
Yeah, you drag your feet. It's like, well, I don't even know why I'm doing this, right? They don't trust me to do it anyway. Probably gonna get in trouble. I don't care, right? All right, did any of the other ones here jump out at you? Yeah. Number 10. 10 is actually one of my favorites. It's probably my second favorite. 10 is simplicity. The art of maximizing the amount of work not done is essential. Does anyone else think that 10 is worded strangely? Nods. Yeah, why do you think that?
I don't really know why. I just like do it.
Yeah, that's not normally when people talk about like making things simple. They don't usually say the art of maximizing the amount of work not done. Right? That's just a weird thing. Why do you? Any ideas why they would? Because this wasn't by accident. They worded it this way on purpose. Any ideas why they might have worded it this way on purpose? Yeah.
Well, I guess because maybe you got the word like maximizing and then not done, so it's like feels contradictory, but like
Yeah, a little bit.
get as much as you can.
Yeah.
Say it's like so confusing that like the only words you like really get out of it is simplicity and then it's essential.
Yeah, it is. So here's why they put that middle, because that's how most people would write it, right? Like simplicity is essential. Here's why they put that middle piece in there. And the reason why is that most people have a really bad misconception about simplicity. Most people think that simplicity is what happens by default. Like, hey, if I just don't worry about it, it's going to end up simple. Is that how things work? No, it's not. In fact, has anyone studied, you got some physics people in here, maybe the second law of thermodynamics? Anyone know what that one says? Really put you on the spot here, yeah.
The amount of usable energy in a closed system decreases over time.
Yeah, so the amount of, and then we also talk about a thing called entropy, right? And most people, when we talk about entropy, we think of it as a disorder. It's really not, but it's good enough to say that. And that disorder, given, again, without adding any energy into a system, so in a closed system where we're not adding energy, disorder tends to increase. Things tend to go from order to chaos, right? It's a simplification, but it works for now. So the tendency of things is to not get more simple. If you leave something alone, it tends to get more complex. And the way you solve that, the way you fix that, is you have to put energy into it. You have to put work. It's an active thing you have to focus on. And that's why they put that middle piece in there. Simplicity doesn't just happen, it is the art of maximizing the amount of work not done. You have to think about it and do it for it to happen. And that's why they worded it that way. It is not something that's going to happen if you don't think about it. Yeah?
I was almost thinking when I read that, the idea of opportunity cost. Just maximizing the work not done seems to bring to mind like the time we would have spent on things that you don't need to do.
Yeah, and you have to make a decision, right? Like you have to actually actively make these decisions about simplicity. It's not just, again, most people think that if I just don't think about it, it's going to be simple. And it's not. You actively have to put thought and energy into making things more simple. Yeah?
I was going to say that it relates to you work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, work smarter, not harder is exactly right. And that takes energy, right? Like how do we figure out how to work smarter? Yeah. Any other ones jump out at people? Do one more. Yeah, go ahead. So 6 is the most efficient, effective method of conveying information to and within a team is face-to-face conversation. I agree with that. Who here loves Slack? So if you had if you have to get information conveyed, having a face-to-face conversation is absolutely by far the most efficient and effective way to do that. I've seen communications where people are like having a conversation via email, and it's going back, yeah, right, I'm seeing the heads right? And I've seen these emails, right, where like, I know that that person put like 2 or 3 hours into typing out this email. And then the response, the person, they go out and do research, and they put 2 or 3 more hours in the response. And it goes back and forth and back and forth. And it turns out, if they had just gotten into a room and had a conversation, how long do you think that conversation would have lasted? Yeah, like 5 minutes, 10 at tops. So in my teams, I actually put rules in place that if an email gets more than 2 bounces, we stop the conversation, we get into a room all the time. Face-to-face conversation is the way to communicate. Yeah.
I always find it kind of funny whenever I see someone like texting and like the bubble for the text is like the
Yeah,
it's just like why didn't you just call them?
Yeah, and the person's like right here, right? Like we're in the other room. Like I've seen that. My wife and I have done. I'll admit to it. Like I've texted her from the basement before, and I could have just like walked upstairs and asked her the question. You know, it's silly. But I'll only do that if I'm not trying to have an actual like information exchange. If it's just, hey, you need to know this thing, text is fine. But if it's, hey, let's have a conversation where we exchange information, face-to-face is the best way to do it. And I include with face-to-face, like getting on like FaceTime or Hangouts or one of those, like Duo or anything like that, where you can actually see each other's facial expression, because you lose a lot if you can't see the other person's face. You lose the tone that they're speaking with, so maybe you can't tell that they're being sarcastic. You lose the facial expression, oh, they're smiling, they must be joking, right? So face-to-face, I'm okay with video chat. It's still better to be actually face-to-face, but I'd rather still have video chat of some kind than like text or emails. All right, so we've got about a half an hour left, and I want to do this, I want to play this game. And this is going to be really fun for me because there's so many of you, and I'm going to try to figure out how this works. So before we do anything, I'm going to give you a couple instructions here because it's going to turn into chaos. Okay? So I want you to arrange yourself into 4 groups. I don't care how you do it, but 4 groups. And then when you've got your 4 groups, send one person from each group up to me, and I will give you a packet of instructions. How many people? Hello, group.
Good day, Connor.
I know.
Yeah, you never said how many people.
What's your shirt say?
Alright, you got your group, send someone else.
I'm gonna set my charger right here.
I even know who found
Alright, so the next thing each group needs to do, I'm gonna give you 1 minute. Each group has 1 minute to come up with a team name.
Blind
Team
Switzer.
name.
Blind Switzer. Yeah. Wait, reading the line G-A-J-Dad.
I think our group should be called.
Let's do two.
Yeah, I like it. Jack.
Let's do, I read it out loud.
It's too much conversation. Too much conversation.
Big.
Alright,
Just kill it. Yep.